Good afternoon, good morning, good day, good whatever time of day it is out there for you. Mike coming at you, and this is a follow-up video to a video I did just a few days ago on the ridiculous price of cars. You know, this market is driven by us consumers. It's the fault of us consumers that are keeping levels at where they are. You know, Ford's doing a good job. GM, Stellantis is now actually moving vehicles if we look closely. The car industry as a whole is making money, and there is really not a big crisis. And my point was, us consumers are the ones that are driving the business. Now, is it our fault completely? No. We've been conditioned to want the latest and the greatest and the newest and the best, and things get better and more technology. I get all that. And hey, listen, that's what keeps this country going. That's what keeps innovation going. We need consumers like that. We need consumers to push the boundaries, to let the manufacturers know that, hey, what you've got going on now isn't good enough. We want more. We want better. And that kind of innovation, that eventually will drive prices down. While that's great for the people who can afford these cars with no problem, they don't have trouble dishing out $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 as a down payment. And it's easy for them to get a loan. They've got great credit. They may only pay $300, $400 a month because they got the money to make that down payment. Or, better yet, they just take out the cash and pay for the car, because they want what they want. They want the latest and the greatest. And that, unfortunately, leaves the rest of us with the burden. Let me explain. So car companies are interested in one or two things. Number one, they want to make money. They want to pad the CEO's pockets. They want their bonus. Hell, their bonus is more than most of us make in a lifetime. The second thing is, they have to satisfy the stockholders. So what are they going to do? They are going to produce vehicles that have a higher margin, which means more bells and whistles, a higher ticket price, and they're going to push these vehicles on all the consumers. They don't care if you can afford it or not. If you can't afford it, don't buy their product. Buy something else. And that's the problem. It's just not my opinion. This is a fact. How many car manufacturers are out there? There's plenty. You've got what? GM, you've got Ford, Toyota, Nissan, Kia, Hyundai. The list goes on and on and on. Yet there's only, out of all the car manufacturers, overseas and in the United States, there's only one that can produce a vehicle under $20,000. I don't get it. How come there's only one company that can do that? That's Nissan with the Nissan Versa. Is it a great car? No. But is it a car maybe for a college student going to school and back? Yeah. Maybe a first time or second time car? Yeah. Maybe it's a good car for an elderly person on a fixed income and can't afford $30,000 or $40,000 for a vehicle? Yeah. I would think there is a market out there for that kind of vehicle, but only one manufacturer? Come on. It's all about this. So you may be thinking, well, what is there to do out there? If there's only one car under $20,000, what do you do with that single mom who has a family, maybe 2 or 3 children? Or what about the family who, dad lost his job or mom lost her job and they really can't afford a vehicle for the whole family? And it's really tough. Let me give you an example. You're a family of 4. You live in maybe the Northeast or the Northwest where it snows, and you need a vehicle for your kids to get them back and forth to school, maybe get them back and forth to sports. Maybe mom or dad lost their job and you're operating on a pretty tight and fixed income. What's out there? Well, listen, you don't need all these bells and whistles. You understand that. Hell, groceries are expensive. Insurance is expensive. Your rent is expensive. Everything is expensive. So you're smart and you say, I got to get a vehicle where I can fit my kids in And I don't need leather seats. I don't need a sunroof. I don't need satellite radio. I don't need, updates every 6 months. I don't need to be connected to Skylink or whatever it is like the other cars. I just need a basic vehicle big enough for my wife and kids or husband and kids. And all I need really is all-wheel drive to get me through the harsh winters. Well, you're not getting anything less than $30,000. You might get something for $29,000, $30,000, but nothing significantly less than that. And hell, by the time you add taxes, fees, government fees, dealer prep, whatever, all that kind of crap they want to add on, you're looking at $35,000. That's easy, right? 35. And maybe you have an old clunker you want to trade in, or maybe you have $5,000 down. So we're going to just put $5,000 on that. So the out the door price is what? Around $35,000. Here's $5,000. You got to finance 30. Maybe you've got good credit, not great, not poor, just right in the middle. So at today's rates for a 5-year loan, you're looking at over $600, maybe around $640, $650 a month. Just for a basic vehicle. Just for a basic vehicle for your family. I'm sorry, guys. That's just too high. So what are we forced to do? Well, we're either one of two things. We've got to come up with more money down, or we've got to extend the term of the loan. So even if we extend that loan another 2 years, we'll bring that base model with all-wheel drive up to a 7-year loan. We're still at just over $500 a month for that car. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. I'm asking the car companies, maybe they can produce something a little more affordable. Maybe give back to the public a little bit. Maybe not produce so many vehicles with all the bells and whistles. There are some of us out there that struggle. We struggle. And a car for us is not a luxury. It's a necessity. We have to get these kids to and from school. So what can we do? What if you're one of those consumers? Are you stuck with these prices right now? Well, unfortunately, in the new car market, nothing's going to change. In fact, if we're looking forward, prices are going up in 2025. And 2026 is going to be no different because, again, us consumers are kind of paying whatever the car dealerships want. The manufacturers set the price. Okay, I guess that's the new price. So we're forking over, more money, which is driving up the price even more. It's simple supply and demand. So I don't want to be all negative, and say too bad, that's just the way it is. So for those of us who really are going to struggle to buy a new car, maybe you are that single mom or somebody who lost their job and, $600, $700, $800 is, it can't be done. Is there an alternative for us? Is there something that the everyday Jane and John can do to afford a car for their family? Well, unfortunately, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but as it is right now, new cars are kind of over the top. I mean, unless you get a 22 or a 23 model that they're taking $10,000, $15,000 off, giving incentives, and maybe are willing to do a 5 or 6 year loan at a bank and that can fall into your budget. If you can find one of those, hey, great. Take advantage of it, buy it, hopefully it works out for you. But for the rest of us, what can we do? Well, the same thing I did. Hey, you're just going to have to maybe look for a used car. Now, I know, there's a lot of people, hey, if you buy a used car, you're buying somebody else's problems. And sometimes, that's true. But other times, look what's happening. Everybody wants to buy the latest and greatest. People are leasing. A lot more people are leasing now to keep those monthly payments low. And, for most of these companies, they offer free oil changes, free maintenance during that lease time so they can get top dollar for that car. That kind of works out for us a little bit because, the depreciation Somebody else already paid for that depreciation, and you can step into a fairly decent car, slightly used with a few miles on it, and you'll get the manufacturer's warranty with it, whatever is remaining on the manufacturer's warranty, and you'll get a pretty good car at a price that maybe you can afford. Yeah, yes, you may have to take out a loan for an extra year or two. However, those payments may be $200 or $300 less. So that's my advice to people who really need a car but really can't afford a new one right now. You can get some great used ones out there. In fact, I'm coming to you from my vehicle, which has 5,000 miles on it, and I paid just over $20,000 for it. So they are out there. You can find deals. I just implore you that just take your time, do the internet search. Be willing to go outside your state or your locality, or even halfway across the country if you need to, and have it delivered to you, because price is really important for those of us who are watching our pennies and are just wondering if we can afford next month's rent. We don't need the burden of a $1,000 car payment. Well, that's all I have for you today, folks, and thanks for watching, and as always, have a wonderful day. Thanks.